The countdown is on, dear Bayern fans, ahead of Bayern Munich's Champions League first leg encounter with Real Madrid. And we take you to the final practice session, the first 15 minutes here at Säbener Straße. The players are coming out on the pitch now a bit later than scheduled. And we, that is a real expert, Roy Mackay, by my side. So thank you, Roy, for your time. We can see Harry Kane, Joshua Kimmich, and Serge Gnabry, which is very nice to have him on the pitch as well. Why is the whole footballing world looking forward to that duel? Well, I think the whole world is waiting for that Champions League semi-final, and when the two heavyweights face each other, then it's even more joy. It's a 50-50 thing, and whom I'm hoping for is clear, but there's no real favorite, and everybody is looking for who's going to be on top after that. We've seen Serge Gnabry. He was out a couple of weeks. Very important player ahead of his hamstring injury, and Thomas Tuchel said he's going to score tomorrow. Why is he so important? Well, I think offensively it's very important to have everyone aboard. And we've seen that Leroy had a couple of problems, but thankfully he's available for the Champions League games. And Jamal Musiala was questionable. Serge got injured again, unfortunately. But those are the players that you want to have at your disposal as a coach. And Serge has proven over the years how important he can be for the team. And when he came back after his injury, he also scored goals immediately. And it's very good to have a player that you know that can score goals anytime. We've seen the comeback of Leroy Sané with Jamal Musiala. Leroy Sané has this groin injury, and Jamal Musiala wasn't participating. Conny Leimer had to be substituted against Frankfurt. How important is it a day before that Champions League game to have them back in your squad? Well, the coach wants to know his squad and his starting 11 in the final practice session. If you have to wait for the day of the game to know who's going to play and who's not going to be available, then this is not so perfect. And I don't know exactly when Thomas Tuchel will decide on his starting 11, but I guess he'd like to know as soon as possible and to have everyone on the pitch. Hopefully the practice will be good, so everybody will be available tomorrow. The mood is right, the weather's nice here at the training facilities of Bayern Munich. And you fans, you can post your comments and give your tip for and your predictions for the game here on social media. But now we are warming up, and looks like Leroy wasn't expecting the nice weather, but he's wearing the woolen hat because of his hairstyle. But it's been a good omen of late, as he had been playing very well after practicing with the woolen hat. So Bayern Munich is warming up in the Champions League team line of Bayern Munich. But Roy, what is going through the team and through your head one day ahead of a Champions League game with all the media attention? Are you looking forward to it? Are you feeling the pressure? Well, there's always pressure because you know it's the final round ahead of the final. But on the other hand, almost all the players were playing at that stage already and were winning the Champions League already. But a bit of pressure and a bit of tension is very important, and a final practice session is always good to have a good feeling and to loosen up a bit. And the coach might be talking a couple of topics about the opponent. And when the weather is nice like today, then it always helps. The players are smiling and they're looking forward to the Champions League semi-final. We've seen Harry Kane, who scored 7 Champions League goals, 3 assists in the Champions League, the top scorer of that competition. You, as a former world-class striker, what is so special about Harry Kane, and what can we expect from him tomorrow? Well, I'm very happy that he's here this season. I've said it after Lewandowski, after such an extraordinary striker. Bayern was missing a striker that Bayern had throughout pretty much all the years. And now he scored 7 goals in the Champions League, 35 in the Bundesliga. He's really doing an extraordinary job. And he's doing it exactly like he did at Tottenham. He's dropping back a bit into midfield. He has those speedy players around him. He had Son at Spurs. Here he has Kingsley, Serge, Leroy, Jamal, Matthijs Tel. And the whole team really fits the playing style of Harry Kane, and he scores the goals. And that's what he's there on the pitch. That's what he's there for. If you look again at the faces, what do you see? I see relaxation. They are all looking loose and smiling during the warm-up. Then they're going to do a bit of a rondo maybe. And you can absolutely tell that they are looking forward to the semi-final. And then the final at Wembley. And I don't have to tell you what happened last time the final was at Wembley. So maybe history will repeat itself. Maybe you've seen it on our channels, the final press conference with Joshua Kimmich and Thomas Tuchel. Our coach was mentioning that it's going to be important that the fans and everyone will be there, everyone wearing red tomorrow. How important is the factor to play at home? And that when you know that the Allianz Arena will be cooking? Well, to play at home is always great, and particularly in a semi-final. They play the first game at home. They want to get a good result ahead of the second leg at Real Madrid, and you need everyone's support, all the fans, because Real Madrid is a dangerous opponent. If you look at how they won the Champions League 2 years ago, they were almost eliminated in every round, but they turned the games around, and so they're very dangerous because you think, well, now I have them in my bag, but then they score 2 goals, and it's very important to have the concentration throughout all the 90 minutes plus the injury time. And maybe if it doesn't go according to plan, the fans will have to push them back on the tracks. A good start would be important, particularly for the younger viewers of you. One who did it as quickly as nobody else before and afterwards. 2007 in the round of 16, he scored after 10.12 seconds. Roy, how are your memories related to that goal? Well, that was good. That was a beautiful goal. And if you score a goal against such a big opponent, and they had the kickoff, then it's even better. And a lot has been talked about it, then more probably than if you did it in the league and reached the final for the 4th time. If I had scored the goal and we lost, then it would be good for nothing. But usually we are talking about it at the beginning of March, but now as they are facing each other, we are also talking about it. But tomorrow a Bayern player can take my record, no problem. Will that be something? And Thomas Tuchel at the press conference, he was talking about the players. There are a couple of question marks and maybe a couple of touch-and-go decisions. Matthijs de Ligt had to be substituted against Frankfurt. He's not part of that practice squad here, but that doesn't mean too much. Thomas Tuchel said the decision is open till pretty much kickoff time tomorrow. But Conny Laimer is part of the practice squad, as is Leroy Sané, Jamal Musiala, Dayo Upamecano as well, who was out injured as well. And from the players that were out, it looks like Thomas Tuchel will have all of them available for tomorrow. If nothing else happens, how important is it if you know that you have your full squad available for a game like that? Well, that's what you want as a coach, in order to have players coming from the bench and in order to make changes with players coming from the bench. When I know I have an impact player sitting there, so it's very important to have all of them except for Matthijs, maybe. Well, we have to wait for the practice, how this will go, but you can see it at different clubs that players are getting injured. That's part of the football game, unfortunately. And so hopefully everyone will be available tomorrow, so the coach can pick his 11. Someone who won't be available, as we have a couple of questions in the comments. Kingsley Coman will be out for a longer period of time, as will be Sacha Boyer. But the others that had question marks behind their names, we can see them. Only Matthijs de Ligt is out, but maybe and hopefully he will be an option for tomorrow, which will be a touch-and-go decision, like we said. Let's take a look at the opponent, Roy. The final press conference will be this evening at 6:15 p.m. You can watch it at our social media channels. Same with the final practice session of Real at the Allianz Arena. You can follow it on our social media channels. What is it that makes Real Madrid so strong? Well, they are a strong opponent. They can turn around a game out of nothing, pretty much. I don't know how often they turned a game around in injury time this season alone. In the last round against Manchester City, it was a draw in the first leg with a huge amount of goal-scoring opportunities, and in the return leg, City had lots of chances and they scored the 1-0. A couple of years ago, I can remember when they were trailing City 1-0 and didn't even have a chance, and all of a sudden the score was 2-1. They have so much quality up front, so much speed with Vinicius and Rodrigo and Bellingham just behind them. So maybe tomorrow they will maybe stay compact and be quick on the transition with their quick players. So that could be dangerous for Bayern Munich to have the speed of Rodrigo and Vinicius. Joshua Kimmich, who was part of the press conference today, said important for him it is that he stays at his right-back position, that he's not following one opponent, because they are changing their positions very often up front at the Real Madrid offense. So how do you think can you tame that Real Madrid offense? Well, you have to communicate well in defense. Real Madrid plays a bit different than last season. They play a 4-4-2 without that clear number 9, with Rodrigo, Vini up front, and then as the false 9 or 10, Jude Bellingham. They move around very well on the pitch, and you cannot follow the respective player all the time. You need to make sure that you have a good defense against the transition. And last season, I seen that against Paris Saint-Germain, where they were playing one-on-one with Mbappé, but they were communicating well. You can't stop a player like that in a one-on-one situation. You need to do it as a team effort, and that's what Thomas Tuchel said. It's our plan but we have to make sure where the strength of the opponent is. Well, we've just seen Jamal Musiala, who could be one of those players. Well, Bayern has those world-class offensive players like Leroy, Jamal, Serge is back again, Harry Kane, we don't have to talk about him. And we have Thomas Müller, Mathys Tel, a very talented player as well. So there's quite something to choose from for Thomas Tuchel, but we'll see tomorrow who's to start. But Madrid has two very good offensive players, but Bayern has extraordinary strikers as well. If we look at the faces of the players, I've seen Jamal Musiala smiling, and they appear to be loose, like you said, with the weather as well. So they are looking forward to that highlight. Well, if you're not looking forward to a semi-final of the Champions League, then I can't help them. Well, maybe there are players that are feeling the pressure a bit more. Well, but I don't know how many of those players have won the Champions League already. And Bayern has a difficult season in the league, but they're in the semi-final, and deservedly so, because they've won against Arsenal, and that's why they are in the semis. And we know when we can deliver a good game, then we have a chance to reach the final. I was asking you for your predictions. There's only one in already, so tell us, what do you think? How will the score be tomorrow? Manuel Neuer was getting a new record for clean sheets in the Champions League. Hopefully we'll have another one tomorrow. And with everyone, with you and the team, it's been 15 games for Bayern Munich that they remained undefeated at the Allianz Arena. Is that also a factor? If you know you're playing in your own living room? Absolutely, it gives you trust when you know that you're strong playing at home, but you still have to show it on the pitch tomorrow. And like I said, Bayern has the quality and the team to reach the final. They have to be on the highest level on both games, but all this can give you a good feeling, the way they won against Arsenal, but now they have to be even better. But I'm convinced that if Bayern can reach their top level, they will have a chance to reach the final. So Johann predicts a 2-1 tomorrow. What is your prediction for tomorrow? Well, I've been saying 2-1 earlier as well. That would be a very important first step. Well, the getting rid of the away rule changes something, but a victory is still good to get into the second leg. So the first rehydration break after the warm-up that was led by Professor Holger Broich, the fitness coach. And now it still looks a good mix between looseness and a bit of tension and expectation. So how important would it be for Thomas Tuchel to have his two center-backs back in the starting 11, Eric Diers, Matthijs de Ligt? How important would that be? Well, Matthijs really plays a good season, and you want to have your top players who are in top shape in the semi-final, and him not having in the practice session doesn't mean he's not going to play tomorrow. You want to have players that are used to playing, that have been playing off late in a game like that, but we'll see tomorrow, an hour ahead of the game, whether he will be there or not. But he's really playing a good season, and I hope that he's available for tomorrow. So the first 15 minutes that we can show you of that practice session are almost finished, and I think we are all looking forward to tomorrow's game, as do the Bayern players. And no matter where you are watching the Bayern Munich team, if you make it to the stadium, wear your red shirt, and if you can't, we'll be on air tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. with the radio web service. We'll have Fritz from Turn, Texas in the German version, and tomorrow is time for the first and important step for the game. So thank you very much and have fun tomorrow. Have a nice Tuesday. Bye-bye.